Hello, Dumelang Sanbonani. My name is Norman. Welcome to my channel, Wallet Boza. Today we're going to talk about part 2 of budget. This is money management. So I'll take you through some of the concepts we went through in the prior video where we discuss about your income versus your expenses. So let's get to it. So as we mentioned in the prior video, that when you're doing budget, the first thing that you have to consider is your income, which is your source of income. So here we have, for people who are coming from different backgrounds of life, as we mentioned, you can have your salary, your wages, your commission, your rental income, whatever source of income that you have. So for example, in this example, we're using this individual. So let's assume this person is earning 25,000 after tax. So this is all the totals of the income that they get. Now we need to go and analyze all the expenses that they are getting. So this person, so when you're doing budget, our expenses won't be the same because each and every one has different expenses that we incur. So for this individual, they have what we call fixed expenses. These are your expenses that doesn't change. So for example, we have car insurance, or it can be a property, it can be home contents, it can be funeral or life policies. Those tend to be constant throughout the year. If you own a car, you will have a tracker, so you'll be paying those monthly fee. Some trackers are going for 99 rand. So depending on whether you own a property or you rent, you can have rent expenses or bond payments. Those expenses tend to be constant. If you own a car, you'll have to pay those monthly installments. If you got a loan for whatever reason you got a loan for, you have to make those fixed payments. This person also have a Netflix. We know Netflix remain constant throughout the year. Showmax, DSTV and internet. Those are examples of what we call fixed expenses. So you have to start with these expenses that you know they will not change throughout the year. And these ones are easy to budget because they are constant. Now we move to our calculation. In our calculation, you start with your income and then you put all your fixed expenses. So for this individual, these income expenses, the fixed one, they get to 11,000. So after, you can do a mini calculation to say, how much do I have after deducting all my fixed expenses? So if we look here, this person earns 25. After deducting the 11,000, this person is sitting at 13,000. So this is the amount that is available for them to spend. Now we move over to your variable expenses. This one, they tend to be difficult to budget for because let's take grocery. So when it comes to grocery, each and every month is different. Prices can go up, or your taste of preference might change. Maybe you used to like certain things that you used to buy as part of your grocery, but you no longer like it anymore. Those things will cause your budget, your grocery to fluctuate. So for this individual, they normally spend 3,500 on their grocery. This includes everything like from your toiletries, your food, everything is included in there. And then this individual also budget for entertainment. As human beings, we're different. Some people prefer going out. Some people, for example, some preferring go to concert. Some people go to watch soccer. So you have to budget for such things because you don't want to be in a position where you go into those things that you call your entertainment, but you didn't budget for. Clothing. So clothing also fluctuate. there is no one who buys clothes every month. So this one might be there in other months. Other months it won't be there. Then we move to allowances. So there are those people who are sending allowances to their parents. It can be your parents, it can be your wife, it can be your girlfriend, it can be it depends whoever you're sending your allowance to. You also need to budget for that one. That one might be constant as well. It might follow under fixed expenses, or sometimes if you have money, it might fluctuate depending on how you're looking in that month. And then you have what we call your water and electricity. So your water and electricity also fluctuates. These ones depends on how you consume either electricity or water. For those ones who are using gas, it also fluctuates. The price maybe when you go and buy might be constant, but if you're not using it properly, you might end up using more of gas than you normally do. So this is like a simple template that one can follow. If we look at this one, so the total of variable expenses, those expenses that tend to change for this individual amounts to 8,700. So this individual, after deducting everything from their income of 25, they deduct the 11,000 and the 8,700. They get to 5,215. So this is the surplus they have. So this is the money after they've spent their money. This is the money they have in their pocket that they don't plan for. That's where we need to move to our financial goals. So for this part, I would advise you to speak to a financial advisor. They can look at your income, your wealth and stuff. They can help you to analyze how to grow your finances. So for illustrative purposes, we're just gonna share simple examples of financial goals that one may have. So these ones are divided into two. You have your short-term goals. So this is where like you budget for, like for example, we can say 1 year to 3 years. Those are your short-term financial goals. So for this example, this individual who have, let's say you're planning a vacation, you want to go to whatever as part of your vacation. Let's say you want to visit to America. You need to plan for that, because when you go there, there's exchange rate. So whatever money that you'll be coming out with from South Africa to that country you'll be going to might be lesser. So you need to plan properly so that when you go there, you're not running in a shortfall. So if you were planning on buying a car, you also need to plan for that one properly and test yourself to say, will I able to keep up with the payments, the installments that you need to make? Because if you plan to buy a car, you need to consider the insurance that you'll be paying, those installments that you need to pay on a monthly basis. So you need to take all those things into account. Because when you buy a car as well, there are things that the cost that comes with it, the petrol. And you also need to budget for emergencies. Because if you're coming to a family where you are a breadwinner, you will find that a lot of people are depending on you. So you need to have that backup investment to say if anything happens, you're not going to get into a trap where you're borrowing, and that also messes up with your budget. So moving over to your long-term goals, financial goals, you have to think about your retirement. You have to think about if you have a child or you are married, you need to think about your family. Because by the time you retire, you need to make sure that you're able to have enough money to take care of yourself. If you have kids, you also need to invest into their education. If you're planning on taking your kids to a private school, you need to plan for that, because private schools tend to be expensive. But if you don't plan for for your child education, that will be a problem, because you'll have to go to banks and lend money in order to support your child. If you're planning on buying a house or buying a land, buying property, it's usually expensive. And why it falls under your long-term financial goals is because if you buy a house, you will have to pay it over a period of 15 to 30 years. That's a long term. So you need to plan proper to make sure that by the time you get yourself into that debt, you'll be fine. So looking back at that person, they have like a 5,000 remaining. So you need to plan, how are you going to save that money? Because you can't just spend everything. With that, thank you. Don't forget to subscribe, follow my channel for more content of financial management. Thank you.